is Alexandra Rivera and I am here to tell you about Costco. Well, I want to think that we all know what is Costco. I think we all love going to Costco, or in my case, I love going to Costco. I have to be true, beginning the hallway, seeing everything they have. It is a fact that every time I go, I waste like 2 hours of my life there, looking looking at everything they have. Um, and well, I always go out with many things, but hey, I'm not here to talk you about if I am a fan of the company. Uh, I'm here to talk you about this wonderful company. Let's start talking about what is Costco. Well, let me tell you, Costco is a membership warehouse club dedicated to bring the members the best possible prices on quality brand name merchandise. With hundreds of locations worldwide, they have 815 warehouse, 564 in United States and Puerto Rico, 105 in Canada, 39 in Mexico, 29 in United Kingdom, 30 in Japan, 60 in Korea, 14 in Taiwan, 12 in Australia, 3 in Spain, one in Iceland, one in France, and one in China. Costco provides a wide selection of merchandise plus the convenience of specialty departments and exclusive member service, all designed to make the shopping experience a pleasurable one, and you can spend 2 hours like me there. They are a recognized leader in their field, dedicated to quality in every area of their business and respected for their outstanding business ethics. Costco has been named by the Washington CEO magazine as one of the top 3 companies to work for in the state of Washington. That is a very interesting fact. Let's start now about how Costco started. Well, it was founded by James Sinegal and Jeffrey Broadman. Costco opened its first warehouse in San Diego, California in 1976 under the Price Club name. Was in a converted airplane hangar on Morena Boulevard, originally serving only a small business. The company found it could be achieved far greater buying cloud by also serving a selected audience of non-business members. Price Club was the world's first membership warehouse club, a place where efficient budgeting and operating practice give the members access to unmatched savings. With that change, the ground of the warehouse club industry was off and running. In 1983, the first Costco warehouse location was opened in Seattle. Costco became the first company ever to grow from 0 to 3 billion sales in less than 6 years. That is amazing. But in 1993, Costco and Price Club merged. They combined the company operating under the name of Price Costco. They have 206 locations generating 16 billion in annual sales. From 6 years, they come in 1 year. And finally, in 1997, they rebranded as Costco. The company, as we know actually, has they grown worldwide with total sales in recent fiscal year exceeding 16.4 billion. At the global level, Costco Corporation has established itself as a top company led by its mission and vision statements. In over 35 years, the company has demonstrated its business prowess by recording a steady growth, coming second as the largest retailer of its kind globally. First and foremost, their aim is that business remain responsible, resilient, and relevant, in accordance with their mission and statement and core values. What is their mission? Well, their mission is to continually provide our members with quality goods and services at the lowest possible prices. In order to achieve their and stay true to their mission, they conduct their business with the following core values that are based in four pillars: obey the law, take care of our partners, take care of our employees, and respect our suppliers. So, if they adhere to these four codes of ethics elements at every level of their organization, then they achieve their ultimate goal, which is to reward their shareholders. So now I do like a SWOT analysis. Their strengths for me are the low prices, the no advertising spam, the membership model. Their weakness are the limited product selection. They depend on North America and on selected markets. Their opportunities are to attract younger consumers, the expansion, the e-commerce. Their threats are the bad economic, the competition, and the political, because they are worldwide. Costco Warehouse presents one of the largest and most exclusive product category selection to be found under a single roof. It actually has a fairly horizontal assortment. We can find a huge amount of food products, like frozen, fresh, or prepared. Drinks, cleaning, hygiene product, basic one in any supermarket. In this type of product, it's very common to find bundle packs and large formats with large family in mind, and especially professional clients. In addition to food products, they handle a supply of clothing and textiles, almost always from relevant brands, which has a high turnover, from fashion for men, women, and children to bedding or towels. Costco is known for having a wide assortment of technology too products. Therefore, we can find everything from television to Apple computers or state-of-the-art telephony. Of course, there is everything in terms of small and large appliances. In reality, almost everything that we sold has a place at Costco. Furniture, exercise, machines, campaign supplies, book, stationery, even jewelry. Costco is known for carrying top quality national and regional brands with 100% of satisfaction guarantee. But Costco also provides services of another type that maybe you don't know, but I'm here to tell you. Travel agency, express machine, optical, gas station, and they have been enriching their catalog over the years. Let me tell you about their successful products. An interesting aspect of The company is the company's white label. Kirland products have become a benchmark for the extraordinary value for money. It is an absolutely transversal brand. Kigner's signature products they are designed to be of equal or better quality than national brands, including juice, cookies, coffee, houseware, loungewear, clothing, and detergent. Cookies are very good. You have to try it. There is no evidence of some products, of failure products. Everyone's love Costco products. At first, Costco charged business owners, licensed professionals, and people who work for government, utilities, hospital, and banks because they were a steady source of constant sales income. By extending its membership opportunity to the general public, Costco knew it would attract certain types of shoppers who understand the value of the membership. In exchange for loyalty of its members, the company does not attempt to go after unfit customers, but choose to cater to the needs and preference of its ideal members. Currently has 109.8 million of cardholders and 60.6 million of households. Costco is open only to members and offers three types of membership: the exclusive, the business, and the gold star. The exclusive member receive additional savings on Costco services, such as auto and home insurance, Costco auto program, check printing, identity protection, the payment process, and bottled water delivery. The exclusive member in the US earn an annual 2% reward up to the 1,000 and qualified Costco purchase. And the business members qualify by owning an operating business and pay an annual fee of 60 in the US to shop for release business and personal use. This fee includes one free household card. The business members may purchase additional membership cards and for partners or associates in the business. Then we have the Gold Star members that pay a 60 annual fee to shop for personal use. Individuals who don't own a business may sign up for a Gold Star membership. This fee includes one free household and this is for a personal use. Then we have the Costco suppliers that we can sell in the that are like PepsiCo, Protector and Gamble, and the Crown and Hayes Company, and many more that you can imagine. There is no singular supplier accounts for over 5% of revenue. Besides being one of the largest retailers in the world, Costco bargaining position is relatively strong with its suppliers. Costco suppliers are also called Costco vendors. Costco suppliers are approved and accepted manufacturers, services providers, or distributors who will supply Costco and its members with products or services. Costco is committed to provide opportunities to a supplier based as diverse as the community they serve. Costco suppliers are required meet specific requirements on several levels, no matter if the product is regional, national, or even international, food or non-food. You as a Costco vendor must follow the required guidelines, auditions, review, and codes of conduct. The following points are the most important note when you have to have when you are becoming a Costco vendor. So take note if you want to be one. Costco expects its vendors to prohibit the illegal child labor, compulsory prison or slave labor, and physical abuse of working. This for me is very important. Costco expect its vendors to comply at a minimum with the appliance labor and environmental laws and regulations of the country where the merchandise is produced. Then, Costco encouraged its vendors to work to achieve above and beyond goals, which are continuous improvements to the working conditions of the employees and the protection of the environment. I think these are points are very important, and I like that Costco see these points. Uh, Costco has a regular event for the retail warehouse giant member that is called Costco Roadshows. What is not regular are the products displayed at the roadshows, which typically last about 10 days. The roadshows feature everything from coffee to jewelry to finance equipment. Each company that participates in a Costco roadshow is responsible um, for its own staff during the period that the shows run and for delivering, setting up, and removing inventory. The products are on the consignment reps from Costco. Costco explained and the supplier is paid for what it's sold. Because the robot show is somewhat of like a treasure hunt, you can say, it doesn't generally feature products that regular sold on its shelves, but sometimes Costco will pick up from products of the company that participates in the roadshow for its regular retail offering. In 2013, Costco commented its plan to expand its operation by offering 150 warehouse clubs globally, with a specific focus on previous untapped international market. This was an important strategic move to accelerate growth, given that international customer response for Costco in international market has been much better than in the US. The membership syncs up in the first to 12 weeks of opening warehouse. International is typically much larger than in the US. For example, in the new warehouse in Asia, typically we see an average of 30 to 40,000 syncs up in the first 8 to 12 weeks, while the same figure range between 3 to 12 in the US. This is large difference that can primarily be attributed to the excitement associated with a fresh concept being introduced to a consumer in a new market. This is a factor that will continue to sustain as Costco expands international in previous unentered markets. Unlike most retailers, Costco plans to expand international is not a strategy to counter the slowdown in domestic sales. They plan to increase international presence is hence um, a strategic move to ramp up overall growth at Costco. Costco value two Costco two value propositions are to offer the best possible prices to its consumers, and that the annual subscription provide greater value to its member compared to the cost of the subscription. Costco is capable of operating in lower margins than the company. It charges its products with sufficient margin to maintain the operational structure of the business. In other words, with the sale of the products in its center, Costco covers expenses. So, how how does Costco make money? This is the interesting fact of their business model. Of the money that they enter to the annual quotas, do you remember that I say that you have to become a member to be able to buy in their stores? Well, in the following, we can see that the income from becoming a member in those that make up practically all the benefits of the company. The membership fees account for the 70% of the Costco EBIT. More than 3 billion came into 2019 Costco as membership fees. That is wow of their business model. In for February 14th of this year, Costco posted year-over-year gains in revenue and net income. The total revenue increased by 14.6% year over year to 44.8 billion. Net income climbing 2.5 year over year to 901 million. The company said that its comparable sales for the e-commerce rose 75.8 year over year. Costco also provides information about revenue generated through membership fees. Membership fees typically make up such a smaller portion of the revenue. For the quarter 2 of this year, for example, the company reported 881 million in membership fees, or around 2% of total revenue. Costco is known for paying its employees high salaries. In the United States, a Costco worker makes on average about 21 an hour and receives health benefits, extended vacation time. As we can say, it's logical that Costco pay that well. The high salaries of Costco employees are part of their cost savings plans. With employees earning a decent salary, they are more productive and less likely to quit. This is a very good strategy. Employee turnover is a huge business cost between staff shortage and the associated cost of finding and training new employees. It can cost a company 40 to 150% of employees' annual salary to replace them. By eliminating some of the incentives a person will have to leave their jobs, Costco can reduce employees turnover and save money. The total number of employees worldwide are 2,188 million, full and part-time. Now, in the New York Stock Exchange, the company went public on December 5 of 1985 at $10 per share before the stock splits. Adjusting for the stock splits, the initial price per share was approximately $1.67. On April of 2004, the company announced that its board of directors declared a quarterly cash dividend on Costco common stock. The first dividend of the 10 cents per share was paid in May 31 of 2004. In February 1 of 1997, when the company changed its name from Price Costco to Costco Companies Inc. and changed its Nasdaq ticker symbol to COST, the effective August 30 of 1999, Costco Company Inc. changed its names to Costco Wholesale Corporation and reincorporated from the Delaware to Washington. Costco reported this quarter four of this year earning that surprised analysts' expectation. Earning per share beat analysts' forecast, rising 20% year over year. Costco revenue came in above analysts' estimate of 70.4 compared to the year ago quarter. Comparable sales growth also exceeded analysts' expectations. The company shares were up nearly 1% in after-hours trading. Over the past year, Costco shares have provided a total revenue of 35.9%, slightly below the S&P 500 total returns of 37.5. The company reports monthly sales, quarterly earnings, and issues an annual report, which are available for the viewing on his website if you want to be part of this company in the New York Stock Exchange. Costco Wholesale Corporation organizational structure is based on its operational presence in the U.S. and other markets. However, the global expansion of warehouse stores lead to the change in the firm's organizational structure. Costco primarily has a weak matrix organizational structure. This type of organizational structure involves a strong functional structure and a secondary divisional structure. Through the functional organizational structure, Costco Group employees according to the business functions such as marketing and accounting. On the other hand, through the divisional organizational structure, Costco Group business components according to the location and market. Those are the following. The following are the main characteristics of the Costco organizational structure. We have the functional grouping and the geographic division. I'm going to explain the functional characteristics of the Costco organizational structure that are presented basic functions to maintain the retail business. These functions are carried out starting at the corporate level and affect the entire organization. The main functional groups at Costco are followed. We have the human resources and risk management, operations, Costco wholesale industry and business, development, finance, food and sundries, merchandise, fresh foods, constructions, information systems, legal, accounting, e-commerce and publishing, depot operation, and on the other hand, the geographic division are a feature of Costco wholesale organization structure that are related to the strategic location of the operations. And the present following are the main geographic divisions that are used. We have the U.S. Northeast, U.S. Northwest, U.S. Southeast, U.S. Southwest, the U.S. Midwest, U.S. Northern California, U.S. Bay Area, U.S. Los Angeles, U.S. San Diego, U.S. Texas, Eastern Canada, Western Canada, United Kingdom, Korea, Mexico, Taiwan, Japan, and Australia. The functional characteristic of Costco organizational structure applies to all the geographic division. For example, the finance group affects all the geographic division of Costco. Also, if we hear that there are more divisions in the US than in other markets, it's because the company derives most of its revenue from the American market. Then we have Craig Yelling that has been the director and president of the company since February 2010 and is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer since January 1 of 2012. Uh, the board is integrated by 10 directors, and Hamilton James is the non-executive chairman of the board since August 2017. We are going to see more about the board after. Uh, Now, who are the competitors for Costco? Well, Costco main competitors in the highly competitive retail market of a large discount stores are Walmart and Target. We all hear about them. These companies are also sometimes classified as the consumer defensive stocks. One of the biggest battles in the retail is among the bulk retailers, Costco and Walmart Sam's Club. In the world of retail, the consumer has a lot of choice. So for a store to be successful, this often needs a unique selling point. Mm, Costco and Sam's Club have a very similar business model. These two retailers generate the revenue from merchandise and product sales and the membership fees. Costco is a publicly traded company, while Sam's Club is a subsidiary of Walmart. When it comes to sales, Costco generates almost three times the amount of sales. Product wise, Sam's Club offers more name brands, while Costco has more private brands like his own brand that we call Kirlan. Now, in the joint venture, um, Costco Mexico was a joint venture that used to be 50% and of the Controladora Comercial Mexicana and the other 50% of Costco, but Costco buys the 50% stake held by Controladora Comercial Mexicana for about 760.4 million. Actually, Costco doesn't have joint ventures. Changing of subject, mergers. It was in 1993 when Costco and Price Group agreed to merge. We talk about that in the history. So they operation themselves. Costco business model and size were similar of those of Price Group, which made the merge more natural for both companies. The combined companies took the name of Costco, and membership became universal, meaning that a Price Group member could use their membership to shop at Costco and vice versa. Price Costco boasted 206 locations, generating 16 billion in annual sales. Price Costco was intentionally led by executed from companies, but in 1994 the Price brother left the company for a Price Smart and Warehouse Club chain in Central America and the Caribbean, relating to the current Costco. In 1997, we saw that Costco changed its name to Costco Wholesale Corporation, and all the remaining plus Price Club locations were rebranded as Costco. Now, is Costco a franchise in 2021? Costco is not a franchise as of 2021, as the Costco Wholesale Corporation operates in a own network of their retail warehouse and does not offer license to its business model to any investor. Costco has resisted franchising since it's operating in the mid 70s and has no plans of starting franchise because of the size of the locations owned by the corporate leaders and the massive inventory and number of employees. Costco don't see the franchising as a viable option. Additional, does not offer their business license to any investors who might not be qualified to run a warehouse even they could afford the step price at Costco location that will fetch. Costco, one thing is that Costco values the quality and the smooth running of its warehouse location. And because all of these reasons, Costco does not franchise and any stores as they want full oversight of their business. This is an interesting fact of why they don't do that. I think they have some good reasons to not do that, but that's my opinion. Costco is a wholesale corporation that operates an international chain of membership warehouse. Additionally, the Costco Corporation also runs Costco Wholesale Industry, which produce private label products and services for food, packaging, jewelry, distributions, meat processing, optical laboratories, and more. Uh, these subsidiaries all have the common goal of providing members with the highest quality products at the substantially lower prices. Costco operates several key subsidiaries that have helped drive sales and profits for their business. Let's talk about the top four Costco subsidiaries that are. First, we have Innoble. Well, what is Innoble? Let me tell you. Innoble is a recent Costco purchase. It's a logistic company skilled at getting large products like appliances to customer homes. Um, Costco expects that the company to help it streamline its final mile delivering of a big or bulky item like appliance, furniture, television, and fitness equipment from the warehouse to the consumer. Then we have the Guerlain Signature. This is the Costco house brand that allowing to it to increase its profit margin on many of the basic sold on and its warehouse by producing its own brand. Costco can meet the changing needs of its consumers and control product designs, cost, and pricing. Because Costco has more control over these factors, and the company can sell these products at a higher profit margin than comparable products supplied by the third-party vendor. Mm, Next, we have the e-commerce. E-commerce, yes, is a subsidiary from Costco that is generating an increasing share of overall Costco revenues. Some of that was due to the big increase in food deliveries during the coronavirus pandemic. Costco was able to grow its e-commerce sales by improving its ability to distribute products to consumers. The company added depot distribution points in several countries, which means it can deliver order to consumer faster, and it brings bigger. Costco used its relationship with in-store product vendors to add more online product offering. It used in-store marketing and promotions to encourage shoppers to buy product online. It has an increased sales of heavily electronic and appliance. This is a big strategic for the company. All of these efforts are important because they are helping Costco to make two types of of sales at the same to the same consumer. A shopper may buy products in a store and online. Costco can increase the average dollar amount sold to a single customer using the online sales. And the company gets a higher return for its marketing dollars and increase their revenue without adding a more physical warehouse space. So this is a very good advantage of the e-commerce that we are seeing so much now this year, but that's not the subject. And finally, we have the auxiliary business that is reserved. Is we are talking about the several business they have like gasoline station, pharmacies, optical and hearing aid centers, the travel business. Costco believes its ancillary business are critical tools to draw consumer into its warehouse. Listen this part. Consumers who buy a gas or buy a Costco to pick up a prescription are likely to take a detour down a few stores as isolates while they are there. So this is like a big strategy for them. This ancillary business help drive total sales for Costco core product lines, such as food and household sundries. Mm, Now, we will take a look at the institutional investor of the Costco based on the number of shares owned. The largest stake in Costco belongs to the Vanguard Group Inc. The Vanguard currently owns about the 39.2 million shares of Costco stock with a market value of 11.2 billion. This represents roughly 8.9% of all the outstanding shares. The global investment managers, the BlackRock Inc., is the second largest shareholder of Costco. The BlackRock holds 28 million shares of Costco stock with a market value of 8 billion. This stake accounts for about 6.3% of all outstanding shares. State Street that holds about 18.4 million shares of Costco stock that are valued at 5.2 billion. This accounts to the 4.2% of all the outstanding shares. Then we have the FMR LLC, does business as Fidelity in Business Investment. Sorry. They owns about 11.5 million shares of Costco stock. They are valued at about 3.3 billion. This represents 2.6% of all the outstanding shares. And we have the Bank of America Corp. That is the last of the top 5 shareholders in Costco. The company holds 7.6 million shares of Costco stock, valued at 2.2 billion. This accounts for 1.7 of all the outstanding shares. And the top individual shareholders compromiser are Craig Gilligan, Charles Munger, and Chaps Murphy. There are many more individual shareholders, but I can say all the names. And finally, a great company. Let's talk about this great company, expensive stock. We talk about how Costco is a wonderful company, but doesn't mean it's a great stock. As of 9th of October of 2019, Costco had the price earnings ratio of of close for 42. The historical advantage for the S&P 500 is about 12 to 50. The average of retailer is about 50.5. It's certainly responsible to pay a high price for quality, but there is a limit. Costco is a stock that should be on every investor radar, and if it ever falls back down to more reasonable levels, um, it should be snapped up in a heartbeat. And to finish all this information about Costco, I want to finish with what are the objectives and goals? Well, what this company seek is to continue expanding the company to countries in which the company does not yet have present, continue to grow sales on the website, and prolong the satisfaction provided to the member partners, offering products and services of the best level and quality. Mm, the organization has established objectives in the recruitment of personnel through hiring the best possible talent, treating them well and protecting them, giving them good jobs, provide provisional development, and doing the right thing through them. From the perspective of managerial administration, the company has established objectives to continue promoting leadership from within the organization, constant training, growing its own talent, and designing what is expected of the employees. The business objective is to stay focused on the core business and to keep getting to know the customers, knowing why they do this business with the company. And as a conclusion, I can say that Costco Wholesale is a different company for me. This is a successful organization that has managed to position itself within the group of the best companies in the United States. As we see in the history, how they start and how they are actually. Uh, However, this distinction is not only based on its spectacular financial results that we saw, but also implies a set of business strategies un- that are unique and very difficult to lever for their competition. However, the key to organizational success for many relates to their workforce. Uh, Costco has implemented a compensational and benefit system for its employees that far exceeds the rest of the industry. The idea behind this labor policy is simple: find the best possible talent, care of them, develop them, and hope they stay with them as long as possible. The organizational culture has been strongly impacted by this way of doing business, where the treating employees well does not differ from the way consumers and shareholders are treated. I love this culture of the company. Why I love that's why I choose this company. The company has managed to maintain a formidable and sustainable growth over the time. It is expected that its growth will continue to achieve the objectives set and maintain the prominent position that specialized media that have decided. And my favorite part of all, I can say that was when we talk about what they ask for their suppliers to do, the labor, how they have to be, and the labors of the suppliers. That, I think that's my favorite part, that they ask to the suppliers to do. I think that's talk about a lot of the company. And well, I want to thank you for your time to listen to me. That was all from my part. Thank you.